to say Dr. Prindia Gore, the community school director at Shiloh High School, that is really because of her. She just wouldn't be quiet about how amazing these kids are. And so they were part of the community school director training retreat this summer. They came in and helped us with our professional development for community schools. And community schools, just so you know, in Gwinnett County is really focused on that sense of belonging and leveraging student agency and voice to include those communities that have not otherwise been included. So with that, I would like to invite Relief and Restore. This is just up to the stage. This is a very, very small sample of the leadership group of Relief and Restore at Shiloh High School. Miles and Jamie are the gentlemen in the dapper suits. Marlo and Bethel are the fabulous ladies in the power jackets. And with that, what we're going to do is hand it over to them for a presentation. Then we're going to synthesize with some questions that I have for them, and then open it up to y'all, because trust me, you're going to have questions. And remember, this is Building Community Leader Day, so this is about after a year of investment in y'all. So what now? What are you going to do? And just to be explicit, we have these students here because they've done just that. All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nardos McConan.
I'm Jamie Brown.
My name is Bethel Wasani.
And I'm Miles Kilpatrick.
And today we're going to talk about Relief and Restore, a nonprofit and a school club at Shiloh High School. So the agenda for today, we're going to talk about what Relief and Restore exactly is. We're going to show you guys what we've done for the past 2 years. We've been an active organization through photos. We're going to talk about our growth, and then you guys can meet us a little bit more personally and then ask questions. So Relief and Restore is a nonprofit organization that I started in the summer of 2021 when there was like a lot of social injustices going on. But as a ninth grader, being stuck in the house for about 2 years, I didn't know exactly how to go about helping. So after talking with a lot of like my family and friends and people that I went to school with and doing research, I decided to start the nonprofit with my cousin. Her name is Sam. She goes to UGA right now, but at the moment she was she was becoming a senior at Shiloh. And we decided that after creating our vision, after creating our mission, making it a school club was the easiest way to go about it, because, you know, going through the school, there's already students there, there's people we know, there's adults that we know that will help support us. So that was the easiest way. So coming into the school year, that was my first year being a 10th grader, going to in-person school, so I didn't know many adults. But Sam, because she had already been at the school, she knew. And she introduced me to Dr. Gore, who at the time was an assistant principal, and she was really known for being involved with the students. She's actually now our community school director, but she introduced me to Dr. Gore. And the beauty of it all is Dr. Gore believed in us like before we truly believed in ourselves, and she saw something in us and she believed in the mission. So she decided to become our sponsor. So we've been an active organization for 2 years now. The goal of Relief and Restore is to bring all types of students. It doesn't matter if you have a 4.0 to a 1.0, if you're an athlete, if you choose not to do athletics. It's to bring everybody in the same space in the school, help bridge those gaps, get everybody to meet each other, and then carry out fundraising activities that we choose, and we give back to the community of our choosing, like any charity events that we want to give back to.
Okay, hello again, my name is Bethel. I remember the first store, to be honest, I joined it by force. Nardos is my cousin. And so, I mean, you gotta support family, but honestly, I didn't really think much of it. I thought it was just one of Nardos's crazy ideas, because she always has them. But as junior year started, which was the first year of Relief and Restore, I realized that it was more than just a club. It was like a community. Because coming into junior year as a freshman from COVID, because, you know, the big gap, So it was really hard, and I really want to thank Relief from Restore because it helped me build confidence to get to more, like, get to meet new people and like get more experiences.
Going into my junior year, I didn't know anything about Relief and Restore, anything about Nardos, anything like that. And I joined 2x4s because Dr. Gore, that Nardos alluded to earlier, the former AP and Community Schools Director, is actually my mom. So she came home one day and told me about this club that she's gonna sponsor, and I need to, join it. And I had no idea what it was, but usually when mom tells me something, she's right, and she was again, that, it was a good club to join, and that this sense of community and togetherness that Nardos wants to start at Shiloh was good, and she's right, and that's all of Relief from Restore is about, so I really enjoyed my experience.
I've known Nardos since like middle school. Well, we weren't like close, so we had mutual friends. And since middle school, she's always been trying to force me in the club. Like JLC and Junior Beta. So when we moved to high school, my first semester of 10th grade, I was at Central with it. So I went to Shiloh High School in 9th grade, and I went to Central because they had an art program called Soda School of Arts that some of y'all may know of. And when I came back 6th semester, my friends was trying to, I reintroduced myself to Nardos, and we got more formal. And she was like, we have this club, and you'd like to come out and mingle and connect. So I came out, it was nice, it was fun, and I had a lot of fun, actually. And she asked me to join it, and I was like, okay, the answer is still up in the air. Because I wanted to make sure that I didn't want to just join it just to have fun, but to be a part of that mission, like to embody that mission statement, not just because it's a club, but because it should be like a lifestyle. So, that was my story.
So, the mission that Jamie was kind of talking about a little bit is this middle part. It says that we believe a single action can make a difference in the community and that a collective action can greatly impact the world. So that single action started with Dr. Gore, Sam, and I. And now it kind of spread so that we have over like 100 members, and then we have over like 75 alumni just from last year alone. So yeah.
As you can see, we love pictures. I just want to explain like what we do in a couple of these. So right here was our first student versus faculty basketball event. This game was a success. All the funds and donations went to Toys for Tots, and this just goes to show that although we have fun, we help our community. Everything is for like a good purpose.
And to piggyback off what Bethel was saying, for like a good purpose, in August of 2022, we were able to host a booth for an open house. As you can see, I'm in that picture. And we were able to host a booth for upcoming freshmen to just give information about our club. And I was happy that I came because it was very last minute, actually. I was asleep because I was Saturday. I was asleep, and Nardos was like, you need to be part of this. So I got up, got dressed, and came out. And I'm glad that I did because I was able to interact and tap into the mindset of where these young freshmen want to be, and was able to connect with the parents and let them know that this is something that they would probably want to be part of.
Okay, and in November of 2022, we hosted our first annual R&R, Relief from Restore Friendsgiving, in which we brought the alumni out to help build the gap between our former R&R members and the ones that graduated. Personally, this really helped me because we asked a lot of questions about colleges and like how to get better at life, just how to, and it also helped strengthen our alumni community, and this was really helpful.
And in mid-October 2022, I believe, we hosted just a Relief from Restore photo shoot. We just wore our spirit wear. Nothing too serious, just to mingle and reflect on the events that we had in the beginning of first semester.
So this is our social media page, and currently we've amassed 368 followers with the 2 years that we've been active. So we're really big on social media because we know that's how a lot of students our age operate. And what we do is we not only post what goes on in the club meetings that we have, or what the events that we host and the fundraising that we donate to, but we also post, that's a video. We also post what goes on in the school, because we want everyone that comes across the Relief from Restore page to see what Shiloh's doing, right? Because we do really good things, and we want everyone to be able to see it. So this is our social media page.
The beauty of social media is that everyone can see it, no matter where you are, who you are. And, as you can see, in this case, I use my social media platform to help spread the word of Relief from Restore, and it helps build a community, because what the goal of Relief from Restore is to help tell people that we're for everybody. We're not just for Shiloh High School. And I use my social media to repost, comment, tell everyone, spread the word. My favorite part about social media is that I get to bring my friends from all over. We try to be we are inclusive, and
so these are an example of a few events. That's actually me to the right doing the toe touch. So our last fall we hosted a Powder Puff football game where a few of the athletes, self-included, took part in being cheerleaders. And the girls actually went out and played flag football. It was the juniors versus the seniors. And it was a really fun event that, made us step outside of our comfort zone. And it was really good bonding to make sure that we all came for a good cause, because every ticket that was bought for that Powder Puff game actually went towards senior dues. And that's kind of what we believe in Relief from Restore, that we're gonna go out and have fun, do things that we enjoy, but make sure that there's always a good cause behind it. So it's really fun to make sure that, we get out the house, do something together that we wouldn't normally do, there's always a good cause. Then same thing with the basketball game in the middle. All the tickets, everybody that attended had to bring a toy, and that toy went to Toys for Tots. So again, it was a student versus faculty basketball game, which everybody always loves to be a part of. And these are some of the toys that everybody brought in. So it's just really fun to do things that you wouldn't normally do and know that it's having an impact on the community. So this is some of our growth throughout the year. As you can see, in August 2021, we had about 45 people show up to the first interest meeting. Then by our movie night in October, we were around 60 people. And after that first student versus faculty basketball game, we were up to over 75. So it kind of just shows that each meeting, when people were hearing about the energy and positive light we were bringing with having that fun, but also making impact in the community, more and more people wanted to show up, which is why we're now over 100 members in the club, and like they alluded to earlier, over 75 alumni from just last year alone. And if you look at the lowest attendance event on this chart is October 2022, our pin drop game, only about 20 people showed up. And that's because it was actually our football game during fall break, and who wants to be at school during fall break, So it didn't have too many people show up, but it was very important because those 20 people made sure we had our presence felt. And we made sure that, we were very spirited. We actually painted our chest that game, went all out to show our support for the football team. And the football team was very grateful for us to be there, and we let them know, we're always gonna have your back. And in return, those football players always have our back. And that's just what we want to do with Relief from Restore. We always want to make sure that if there's any opportunity to show love within the community or give back, whether it's toys or money towards senior dues, we're going to do that. So again, I'm Miles Kilpatrick. I'm a senior at Shiloh High School. I played basketball all 4 years of my high school career, and honestly, as long as I can remember. I'm in the honor roll, and I plan on going to Tennessee State University to major in communications and get a career in sports broadcasting.
Hi again, I'm Nicole Sani. I am a 12th grader at Shiloh High School. I'm Ethiopian American. I'm an honorable student. I plan to go to Kennesaw State University to major in biology, and I'm also a social media enthusiast.
My name is Nardos again. I'm a junior at Shiloh High School. I'm also Ethiopian. I'm an honor roll student. I participated in the Harvard Diversity Debate Club project. So I got to go to Harvard and I got to debate, so I'm an alumni now. I plan to major in biology and minor in social work, and I'm aspiring to be a community school director for Grant County.
Hi again, I'm Jamie Brown Jr. I am a junior at Shiloh High School. I'm an AB honor roll student. This is my second year in track. I run hurdles. Anyone who's ever ran hurdles. I'm a hurdle runner, and I plan to major in fine arts. I've been drawing since I was like 2. I always like drawing on things. Mom got really mad when I drew on the wall, but and I'm glad I was able to take that with me, still keep that talent, because I was able to participate in the SCAD Summer Seminar, where they had us on campus for like a week. We were able to tour campus and indulge in just like being a basic college student, I guess. So we got to network and communicate with the professors as well as like future students. And this is my art page, if you guys want to, I don't know, support, thank you. If you guys want to support or not, but yeah, it's pretty dope. Now, who wants to get involved?
So we can answer any questions anybody might have.
First, I want to ask a question, and I'm gonna just ask a few just synthesizing questions and then open it up to y'all. But you can follow them on Instagram, Relief and Restore. Jamie, talk to us about the logo and the spirit wear. Like, how was that developed, and then what are you doing with the spirit wear?
Okay, so what I had originally was just like a piggyback off of what Nardos was making. So she showed me the logo and she asked me, she wanted me to use my creative mindset, I guess, to give my feedback on the logo. And with that logo, we were able to like incorporate it in many different ways. I know this year we were able to put it on, well, last year we were able to put it on long sleeves and shirts. And I'm pretty sure upcoming summer we'll have like sweaters and more like higher quality shirts with the logo.
So the logo is original, and it allowed, that's a lot of what Relief and Restore does, is taking talents of the students and providing that opportunity, right, to shine, because that's your original logo. And what are you planning to do with the funds for selling the spirit wear?
So we plan on using those funds to support our seniors with scholarship money for whatever college they so fit to go to.
Great, and if someone could answer this, just provides a list of some of the fundraisers and the beneficiaries of some of your events in this short 2 years.
So our first event was our movie night, and it was during Halloween, so everybody had come with like costumes. All of the donations and all the funds that we got from that event went to a hygiene drive. So our November meeting was dedicated towards like bagging all the toothbrushes and all the deodorants that Dr. Gore got to buy through the GoFan tickets that we made from the movie night. We also got to donate to Toys for Tots, so that's kind of like our annual thing. We did that our first year as an organization, and we also did that this year through our faculty versus student event. And I think the beauty about Relief and Restore too is we understand that not everybody has the same like money, right? So like not everybody's at the same like social class, if that makes sense. But what we do is we always try to accommodate to like the student, right? So Dr. Gore always lets people know, if you can't pay for that $5 GoFans ticket, and if you don't have the time to go out and to buy a toy that might be $5 or more, just let me know, but you can still come. So we always try to be very flexible with all the students at the school. But yeah, so the faculty versus student went to Toys for Tots. we did a St. Jude Valentine's Day sale. So we sold flowers and teddy bears, and we had like dedicated one class period to just handing them out and like showing love to everybody that had bought like their friend a gift. This year we got the opportunity to do powder puff. That was kind of what Miles was talking about, the boys being the cheerleaders and the girls being the flag football players. All the funds went to senior dues, so we try to lessen the amount of money the seniors had to pay, because we know it's a lot, and we want them to still be able to enjoy their senior year.
Thank you. And, just a question, was there powder puff, game, was this the first time you guys experienced that?
Yeah, so this was planned like throughout the summer, and it was the first time I think Shiloh has ever done that. And I know it really brought everybody out of their shells. I know the boys got to talk to the cheerleaders more, and like this like made like really close bonds after that. Because it was still like they had cheer practice, like they would stay after school with the cheerleaders, and the cheerleaders taught them like how to cheer. And it was 11th versus 12th grade, so they would have like separate practices on different days. So like the juniors couldn't see what the seniors did, and the seniors couldn't see what the juniors did. I know the girls got closer with the football players as well, because the football players, so it was the boys, were the coaches. I heard that like they made group chats and they were like on FaceTime trying to like figure out what the plays were. So yeah, that was the first time we've ever done powder puff. We had designated a color to each grade level, telling them to come in that color and represent. And really the whole point was to just bring everyone together, right? So maybe you've never talked to a football player before, but now you're gonna be able to, because they're gonna teach you how to play football. Maybe you've never talked to a cheerleader before, but now you're gonna be able to, because they're gonna teach you how to cheer. And it was also to get everybody out of their comfort zone, because, you know, usually you don't see like boys in skirts at school, so it was nice, it was fun. And Miles, you could talk about it a little bit if I missed anything.
And also, Miles, if you could just add in, like, how this really is student run, and maybe, like, how you guys come to decisions.
So, like she said, I mean, it was a really good opportunity to interact with, for me, example, with the cheerleaders. Like, they had to teach us the different cheers that we were gonna do. We did a few cheers they actually do during the game. They taught us a stunt, and we threw one at us, and it was really fun. And like Ms. Farrell was talking about, it's very student-led. Like, all we needed to do with the adults was get a space to learn where we were gonna do this stuff. But as far as us learning, us setting up the events, and all that stuff, it's all, you know, us calling each other, getting on the phone, talking about the logistics, and trying to figure out what works best for all the students, and just needing an adult there to watch us.
Great. And Bethel, how do you guys decide, what to fund and what to use your fundraising efforts for?
We always have meetings, whether it's the officer meetings. As I said earlier, we are inclusive, so we do talk about it without the whole club, with the whole club. So it's really just meetings, and we always jot down, like, cause people always love to donate, and people always have like their heart towards something. So we have a list of what people want to donate to, as you can see here. The type of donations we had was a Hygiene Drive, Feed My Starving Children, the Toys for Tots, St. Jude Valentine's Day Hospital, and the Shiloh Sports.
And then to bounce off a little bit off of Bethel, at our meetings, even though we do have like an executive team, which we can talk about a little bit too, it's never like Dr. Ward is deciding for us, or I'm deciding, or we're deciding, or one student is. Whenever we have our meetings, we always allow for somebody to introduce an idea, right? So Powder Puff wasn't introduced by me, it wasn't introduced by them, it was actually introduced, her name is Naomi, she's a junior at the school. She introduced Powder Puff, and the whole group decided, you know what, this sounds cool, let's do it. So we all decided to do it, and we like added it onto our list. So the list that you see up here, I had one up at the interest meeting. And we always like to work with, like, we never want to come to a meeting without having something like prepared. So we'll have like, you know, like the basics of where we want to donate to, or what events we could have. But everybody kind of like branches off of that and like thinks, hey, maybe this will sound better, or let's tweak this and let's make it faculty versus student to like be more inclusive of the school, so more people will come and be more excited for it. So yeah, it's more like of the whole group deciding what we're gonna do and who we're gonna donate to.
Jamie, can you talk about, the sustainability plan, like, or succession plan? Because I think, the leadership, of the group has grown, and then what things you do to make sure that when people graduate, it will still continue strong. And
Right.
maybe you could speak to Shiloh Middle.
Yes, ma'am. So I know Bethel, Nardos, Hasek, and Dr. Gore, Miles' mother, went down to the middle school and spoke a little bit more about extending a hand of Lead from the Store down to the middle school. But we're still trying to tweak and communicate a few more things. But for more sustainability, we hold meetings. Well, in the beginning of the year, we hold new meetings, so like who will be a treasurer, who will be our president, our vice president, so that way we always have things to fall back on.
I'm wondering, I mean, just the magic of this, of how, I love how it brings joy back. And if anything, the pandemic has taught us, we need more joy. And leveraging that to, all of their events are interactive and fun, but by design, giving back to the community and growing, like the alumni. I don't know if there was alumni events before you guys started this.
Yeah, to my knowledge, there wasn't any. So it was like important for us because we knew that the alumni, because they were currently rising seniors at the time that Relief from the Store started. And they were a big part in Relief from the Store, period, because it started off with just me, Dr. Gore, and Sam, Dr. Gore, and I. And it was really big for us to make sure that we're telling people who we know to come join the club, because they'll tell people they know, and then those people will tell people they know. So Relief from the Store, I know our end of the year party last year, I talked a lot about how maybe they weren't there to necessarily support Dr. Gore, Sam, or I, but just showing up because your friend told you to is a really big part of it, because we always show up and we show out for every event that we go to, whether it be Relief from the Store, whether it's a chorus concert, the school is hosting, it doesn't matter. Just always showing up and showing out is really big to all of us.
Awesome. I wonder if any of you have any questions, and if you could be thinking of, okay, what can we learn from these students as far as how we can engage in our community and take our interests and talents and move it forward. So I'm gonna open it up. Does anyone have any questions? Dr. Glenn?
So first of all, you guys are amazing, so thank you for sharing your leadership story. What can we do to support you?
Why do you ask?
So I think one really big support would be to listen to the students in your schools, because I know like Ms. Farrell said, we're the future, but we usually always have the answer, right? We do, because it's regardless of if they take AP or IB, because I know a lot of people in the school, and I always try to branch out outside of the classes that I'm in. There's at least one student that's always complaining about something, but usually they have the answer to what they're complaining about, but their issue is not knowing who to talk to. So I want to say one really big way to support is to let the students know that you're there, and that you're there to listen, but also to help making the plans to make a change and make a difference, because talking can only do so much. And that's what Relief from the Store tries not to do, is just talk. We try to actually follow through and make it happen.
How do you do that? Because I don't know if it's the older we get or what it is, but it seems to get harder to move from talking to action. So what's your secret?
I feel like as a club, as a whole organization, we were founded on making Relief from the Store, making a difference in the community. And without us taking the action, the whole club is pointless. And so we feel like we need to take pride in, we have a meeting the first Tuesday of every month. And whatever we, talk about in that meeting, it's the whole goal to, by the time we get to the next meeting, get it done when we talk about getting it done, because if not, we're just wasting our time.
I really like that you guys have been open to be an advisory group. I know I've come to you on a couple things and ideas, with mentoring and whatnot, but, really organically, it looks like you're developing your own mentoring program. Those that, graduate or have graduated, and those, youngsters across the street at Shiloh Middle. We have a question over here.
What are some challenges along the way that you encountered with leading this program, and how did you address those challenges?
One of our major challenges was doubt. A lot of people would doubt us because, this is, I think, I don't want to say our first student-led club, but, a lot of people would be like, oh, these are just kids, they don't know what they're doing. And all these events really show that we're not just kids, like, we do more than just, like, go to school and, like, act out.
I'm gonna hand it to Jamie next. But, I wanted to say, like, along with what Beto was saying, it was really the school culture. Like, now I'm talking to Dr. Gore, I'm like trying to learn like better language and bigger words. But, it's the school culture that was, I think, still is the biggest challenge because we're changing it, right? Shiloh was different before COVID hit, and then it changed when COVID hit. So now we're coming back and we're trying to bring all these events back, and we're trying to make sure students know that, hey, like, you're at school, so you should have a place where you belong. And that's really for store. And a lot of people, like Beto said, like, they doubted us, and some still don't believe it. But that's like one of the biggest challenges that we're having. But like overcoming that is by continuously like knowing who is there to support us and who believes in the mission, and working with them to work with others. Because, sometimes somebody may not trust me, but they know Bethel more, so they trust her. So making sure like she gets the mission and the message as much as I do, and being able to translate it to different people, and meeting that person where they are too is really big. But yeah, changing the school culture.
And another thing is self-doubt. Since we are like adolescents, our minds are kind of going through those changes. So we kind of have a lot of self-doubt within ourselves. But me, trying to be that voice of reason to Nardos when she's stressing out, is that we're not perfect. And, we are a student-led club. However, that doesn't mean that we don't know what we're talking about or what we're doing. Because we changed the future. Well, you all did change the future too. But we can continue to change the future alongside with you guys. So over stressing yourself out and overthinking it will just cause more problems than solutions. So we kind of still need to work on communication. We still have a few people who are like-minded and who aren't like-minded, and they kind of clash together. So we still need to work out a few kinks, but we're not perfect. So.
And I want to add on to what everybody else said and talk about a big problem for all of us, which is time. Especially with us being kids, our time management is kind of, we're actually late today, to be honest. Our time management needs a lot of work, and as far as the club goes as a whole, we have this kind of unreasonable sense of, if we say something today, it's going to get done tomorrow. So we kind of come with plans, not always with not making the most time sense. So as a club, we need to work on planning sooner, and then giving ourselves plenty of time to make any adjustments or things that we need to make necessary, instead of just, kind of going with the flow, which we can do, but it's gonna be a lot easier if we work on time management too.
Excellent. We have about 4 questions, so we're gonna go here.
First, I just want to applaud you all for the courage to just stand in your truth. My 2 questions are, how did the name come about? And how are you able to communicate this to the other students to create such a collective from 4.0 to 1.0, as you said, or athletes to non-athletes?
So, this was started in 2021 in the summer. The name came about, I want to say, I use like a search engine, like on the internet, and I was just kind of like trying some new like words to put together. And I know my friends had helped me with the word. It was about like, I want to say like 4 or 5 of us, and we just put Relief and Restore together. Like we did our research, like what it meant, because like we wanted to make sure we were using the words properly. But yeah, I want to say there's like a more special way that we can about it, but I don't think so. And your last question was about how we
Bringing all of the students together, from athlete to non-athlete to,
Mhm.
different GPAs.
So I'm gonna brag on them a little bit, but the 3 of them all have like different things going on, which is what Relief and Restore is about. Like everybody in that organization, if you ask them, they're either in another school club, they're in a sport, or they have a job outside of school. Like there's always something going on with everybody, and sometimes it can be a little difficult trying to like plan accordingly. But Jamie, he does art and he's also in track. So that's 2 ways that we reach people already. Miles is in basketball. He's also honor roll. So that's 2 ways we reach people. And then Bethel, she works in Publix and she's in multiple school clubs, and then she's also big on social media. So that was like 3 ways that we reach people. So when it had started, in 2021, that school year, it was me, Sam, and Dr. Gore. And the beauty of Dr. Gore is she knows everybody, right? So Miles is in basketball, so she knew all the basketball players, and I want to say she was the one who brought them in, because I hadn't gotten to talk to any of the basketball players. And she just knew a lot of kids, and a lot of kids trusted her. So whenever she would introduce the idea of this club, they came in and they sat in the meeting, and if they liked it, they stayed. So I want to say like we have different people, whether they were like my family and they were just in it because they were family, who knew somebody else, and then that person knew somebody else, and it was kind of just like a domino effect of just meeting new people and getting to know other people because everybody was in some kind of other organization.
Awesome.
If that answers your question.
Do you guys have a plan to expand to other schools? And if so, what does that look like? And I just stole Greg's question.
So, Jamie kind of touched on this a little bit. Me and Bethel had went to the middle school. I went a couple of weeks ago with Hasset, she's our treasurer, and Dr. Gore, and we also had an alumni, his name is Zoran. He was in basketball when he came to school. He was actually a South Gwinnett Comet, and then he had transferred to Shiloh. So it was like cool to talk about his experience. But right now, we want to start with the middle school because it's literally across the street. And we believe that, starting off young and making that foundation is really big, because it'll be less of a struggle when they get to high school, having to like change their mindset and like adapt to something new. Because usually you don't really hear about like a completely student-led club. But the plan is to start at the middle school. I know a lot of people were talking about wanting to start at their school, but right now we're just focusing on the middle school. We're starting a mentoring program. Miss Farrow gifted us with books that we could read to the kids, so like just kind of creating those bonds. But yeah, so right now it's at the middle school.
And I also want to add on to what Narvis is saying, particularly with the powder puff game. I used to go to Grayson before I came to Shiloh High School and played basketball there too. And I knew a lot of, we hear in athletes and a lot of other athletes. And I let them all know that, I have this powder puff game, I'm going to be cheering, y'all should come out and support. And after seeing it, a lot of my friends asked me, how can we do this at our school? And a lot of people actually want to start it. But as far as it actually getting done, we still have a lot of work to do with that. But we talked about hosting events that are going to be more, like not just at Shiloh, but doing things to get other schools involved. So then maybe the leadership at those schools be like, we should start that club. So it's a work in progress.
So a couple of questions for you. First, I want to commend you for your presence. Gentlemen in suits, you had me as soon as you walked in. So that's awesome. So, that's always a hard sell, even for my 15-year-old, to get him in a suit. And you guys are doing it, man. You guys are awesome and wonderful. I commend you for your integration of fun and philanthropy, because many of us here, we do a lot of mentoring. Some of us do mentoring right here in this room, ironically, on a monthly basis. But one of the things that we struggle is putting the fun into the philanthropy. So it seems that you've mastered it, drawing so many people. So I also commend you for that, because our mentees, they thirst for fun, right? We want to do something fun, because we're always trying to impart into them and store, and store wisdom into them. And so the way that you've done it and integrated is really, really commendable. Big ups to the generals, though. My god sister is she'll get on me if I say it wrong. She's a psychologist there. Not a counselor, but a psychologist, Ms. McClaskey. So tell her you saw me. And then also, you stated though, that at the beginning of your presentation that you connect people from all walks, athletes, non-athletes, 4.0 to 1.0. My first question is this. Do you have an academic component where you can bring those 1.0s up to a 2.0?
So, my mom, Dr. Gore, that's all she's about. She's been about that on me my whole life, always doing what you need to do to get your grades up. And we actually have, I forget what it's called, but they have this plan where each student whose grades aren't how they're supposed to look gets assigned to a teacher, an AP, and they have to bring their grades up. And my mom really leads that more than anybody else at Shiloh. She kind of leads that initiative of bringing grades up. So with her being the sponsor of Relief and Restore, she'll be the type, you can't come to this meeting if you fail this test, you know what I'm saying? If she knows it's important. So she kind of keeps everybody in check and makes sure that they're trying to put their best foot forward.
And I'd also like to say she helped me a lot, because I did not do good on like one class, but like I used to go to her after school, after meetings. She used to help me just get on track, and I really appreciate her for that. And yeah.
Awesome. And then my final statement would be this. I was a champion hurdler 100 pounds ago. So I can help you, right? And then you talked about learning time management. I volunteered Dr. Doug. He's a great teacher at leadership development, and we volunteer already because that's how we can help you. So we'd love to come out and address your group and help you with time management. We have class.
Awesome, and want to invite all of you to connect with these students after this, if you want to help them offer panels or programming for the students in the Shiloh cluster. We're gonna.
Okay, hi, I'm Rose, I know you. I am a resident of Shiloh Cluster as well, so I love the idea of you guys doing partying with a purpose. So when the question was asked, how can we help you? You have a whole wealth of class of 2023 that's here as a resource, so make sure you tap into that. And just say kudos on all the great work you guys are doing, because you guys know I'm over all the PTAs in Gwinnett and am a true champion of Shiloh High School. And I can attest that Dr. Gore, to know her is to love her. She really is committed to all of the students at Shiloh High School. Thanks.
We have one more question here. Are there any other questions? Okay.
And what I'm gonna do is, to piggyback off her, like she said, you've had the whole class behind you, now you have a commissioner behind you. So here is your commissioner. There's your coin. Now, if I catch you without your coin, that's a compliment.
It's easy to support this kind of work, right? But really, I'm so lucky to have worked in education for 25 years. Oh, I'm so lucky. Because they're the best teachers, right? Because they're doing what we as